they have different possibilities in how they play their games as well. The big thing from them that we've seen in the first few weeks in the semis, the opens, they're just really aggressive. They get in the box. Sometimes it hurts them more so than it helps. And I was going to say maybe they need to switch to that game style because playing for endgame is not working out. But even their classic game, the big W carrier himself can't get in the box, can't get things done.
It's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, I'm happy you're talking right now, not me, because I was about to say I'm scared for this other duo in Slurpee because I think Ronaldo and Unknown are going to go back to their playstyle of W keying, and they do, but yeah, they still might be getting dropped on here. They've got it uncontested, but I think this is going to change. I'd be so surprised to see if they go through all 6 games not getting dropped on today. Or we go back to Ronaldo. They found him 75 tag, though, in a bit of a box fight now. Ronaldo has been pulling his weight, though, at the moment. At the same time, I think if you're playing with Unknown, you got to get aggressive or you get left behind, and I think he's adapted to the aggression really well. They were picking up some insanely high-point game yesterday in the semis. Can they try and find it? Still a 1v2 at the end of the day. A single gun to his name. Not even, only just over a full clip of ammo. He's going up for it. He has no mass. He's getting sprayed down. 38 health. That's it. It's very rare to win those ones. Only 12 health could have caused an upset, but he goes down. A little bit of a dance on him. 2 teams, though. I'm not really sure where that is, though. So Saf and Zayd, who's the second team? I'm not really sure who will be taking shots here or applying the pressure. Saf and Zayd might be having it, but that could be someone else dropping on Sweaty. It's a massive POI. Could be one you switch it up. We saw them go down to Saf and Zayd last time. Who's going to get these Storm Surge tags? Who's going to get the elims? They're both just as important. Anonymous mode, so I can't see.
It wasn't 2 teams. It was just those 2.
Wolfies and Rojo from Europe might be potentially playing back together. I mean, we saw how Alechi and him were doing off spawn. Wasn't too hot. I honestly don't believe it. It is a rumor. We don't like falling for that Twitter impression bait, but thoughts, guys?
Welcome back to the lobby, Chief.
I don't know, man. It's been a rough couple of weeks after the warm-ups at agency, but
yeah, it's not too great for the stability of your team and the mental health of it. Just going down on spawn over and over again doesn't feel good no matter who you are.
Okay.
It's also that respect and reputation factor. Like a lot of people always talk about, I'm qualing.
Oh my God,
that's the storyline we've been pushing as well. That's Blake actually with the beam, just to get that noted there. He's turned off his face cam, so it might look like assault right now, but...
Gotta clarify, that was a mouse and keyboard play because they can do it 2 times. I said earlier today, Blake's AR aim is ridiculous. That was a green AR. He absolutely beamed him and almost took him out. Oh, but he gets heavy sniped back. For good measure, there goes his health and shield. He's only got the shields. He's got the slowfish. They've got floppers as well. But I wanted to touch on that with the double controller inputs. How do you think that's going across different regions? Yesterday in OCE, 2nd and 3rd was actually 2 double controller duo inputs. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
Get out of your dark ages, buy a cell phone, right? Like, get with the times, like...
Watch some VOD reviews, check out Paula's channel, double controller
watch some
players,
VOD reviews.
try and learn a little bit. At the same time, though, it depends.
I don't think it's controllers.
Anyone, if you took Wolfies and you took away the keybinds, you couldn't see it. I want to see anyone see his builds and say it looks any different to a mouse and keyboard player. It looks a little bit different, but is insane. He holds up just as well. So we talk about like archetypal controller players, and we're just imagining they're all just sitting there being the controller fragger. Some of these controller players can tarp and lead like beasts as well.
Well, that's what we're saying.
It's having those roles.
That's what we're saying.
Dude, they survived by themselves all the way till endgame. Like, it's just, for some reason, I don't even think it's his controller. It's just the way they approach the game. Just have to play a little bit more, learn a lot more right now. Here's Adrius, not protecting his top. I think that's a grappler coming straight under a launch pad.
Ended up not getting too far in the placement thresholds, but at least anything. Remember, we always pull up the stat. Who is getting placement every game? NAE is proving that that is going to be the most important thing.
So many kids at East are going to...
It was actually game 3 as well. You missed it, Baller. Arab actually made an insane play to clutch up top 5. He managed to heavy snipe, edit the cone, and then take an elimination, which got him the elim and the top 5 placement. Solo clutched it out without the grappler. So interesting last game, he gave it to Coop. Can he get the elim? He does. There's another elim there, topping him up from Storm Surge 2. That's a huge pickup. Coop's up there with him now, but Arab with the legendary AR doing all the damage from the players rotating. And they've got such a good position now.
And you see their attitude right now is not getting that elimination. Arab's still cool, calm, collected, coming down with Coop, right back into their box. They're actually going to choose not to hold height right now. These guys have their sound strategy that they implement in every single scrim. You stay mid, wait till 6 zone, jump up, take height.
And that was chaotic, actually, that went down on that beam. Who clearly, you guys saw it, rose up in the leaderboard to 4th place. And now Nosh by himself. We'll see how this is going to work out. You've seen him clutch in squads. You remember that clip from the last week of him just popping off. I think Ozzy, you cast it over it.
Come here, get to me.
Oh yeah, I remember that clip. That was absolute insanity. His mechanics are unreal. Last game they performed really well. They stuck together amazingly. They're one of the teams that jumped up on the leaderboard that we watched in the replay mode. So we'll see if he can do it solo. Today's just turning into a story of solos right now. We see, but Arab and Coop are the one that is a duo still looking good. I think Sizlucky and Lazara, I haven't seen them in the feed too, so they must still be up there as a full duo, which would look amazing. They're probably going to try and maybe, they don't even need the legendary AR down there. I was going to say they might go for it on Coop, the typical controller burst beam, but he's got the Mythic Scar. They don't even need it. They're just trying to push down here and get some pressure. Here's Chap and AV still in this one, and the minigun pressure being applied with the heavy sniper. Heavy sniping at his own wall to follow up with the minigun. Such a devastating combo, and getting some really good Storm Surge tags. 930 above, pushing their way through. You talked about it earlier. I think Shy and Baller, you both mentioned it when I talked about why Chap carries the minigun. This is why they push through, control the lobby, and dictate where they want to go. No arrow dropping down. This is huge. Gets the flopper off. 48 health. 38 health. He's back in front side of zone though, but he's still got the grappler, luckily.
Now low ground inside the mind of Arab and Coop live as they move through all the way below, possibly just right above Storm Surge. We're waiting hopefully for these guys to get damaged. There's minis for Arab to take, but he's just one pump away from absolute disaster. Chap though, on the brighter side of things, all the way up top near the sun, gliding down.
Doing the reverse stair taps in case he has to go back up, but he's trying to just reinforce and make sure he's not just waterfalling straight down, saving the mats, going down on a different layer. Really not connected, needs to be careful, and someone takes it. Never mind, they just deliver him some loot. Talking about skins earlier, it is Macwood. I was going to say, it looks like it might be Zexer or Macwood. A very uncharacteristic play from them, going for the high ground, instantly getting taken out. I think he must have been beamed from the sky. Something must have happened there to upset that. I didn't see him get taken any damage. We have Ziff still in the feed, Chap still in the feed, which we called out earlier, coming just outside the top 10. Jamper's rotating to front side. He's got a couple of builds to drop down and connect to now.
And look how differently these guys play height in a sense. Jamper going all the way forward, making sure he has every contingency planned for. Now the replay might freeze just a little bit because we're waiting for it specifically to catch up. That's not an issue on our OBS side or the stream side. It's just the replay itself. Going for those combo shots though is going to be Jamper and Paper. You can't see the duo's name. It's on that game 4 of 6 tag there. If we moved up just a little bit. Edgy popping off in the chat door in that action feed. And then we have Cease as well. Bizzle both getting Spades and Blake down in that elimination feed.
It seems
Now,
like every
like
single game we have a new team entering the fray, but a ridiculous set of players who are at the top of the leaderboard, hanging on consistency-wise. Bizzle and Cease in the end game, smacked, and them up there as well. Coop and Arab, we obviously saw their perspective towards the end. And Jamper and Paper on height, though. This is the new team that I was saying.
And on height temporarily, we got a little bit of a sneak peek last game. Not going to touch on it too much, but these guys were absolutely terrible on low ground, editing through each other's builds. We'll see that in just a second. Bizzle finally going down, Zayt surviving at the same time, and there's Ziff and Masef who are alive till this moment. Coop still up for clutches as we flip through people, and there's Animal Aspect, one of those veteran favorites who barged right in. Chap going down, and AV possibly getting taken up right after. The AR spray is there.
No way, Aspect and Animal clean up again. They've got 6 elimination. It's all up to Aspect down on low ground right now. Can he survive pass? Yes, he does. The 10th placement threshold. Cease still alive. Aspect connects onto Coop. And now Gonzo on the mid-ground layer. Where is this going? Aspect does fall. Cease still alive. No, he fell the zone, but not before taking out Masef. Jaith alive. You said he was alive towards the end, and he possibly ended up going all the way towards the last top 5. But again, one of these zones, 8 people alive in 9th in the final moving zone.
And when it's this small, when there's a mountain beside you as well, it's so unlikely for anyone to go down. That still gets carried. I believe that's actually Panda who ends up getting cleaned up right there. Jamper now moving forward, moving through, has a big task at hand to get up this mountain. 7 people left alive, 4 different duos, a bunch of solos in this mix then. Paper, not going to be one of them. He's with Jamper. They look for shots all the way up and through. Here comes Intensity, Silence. They're not sure exactly what's going on above them, but they can't check because if they do, they're going to get taken out just like Panda. 9th zone still. No one's gone down. People are launch padding. We can't see how or why. It's this duo that has the focus. Tabs and Colazo popping off all the way on height, and here they are. 50 mats with an AR beaming down. Can they hold the door against Jamper and Paper?
He does hold the door for a second, but then gets a big pump to the face. Tabs in what appears, I think, maybe a 1v1 or 1v2. I think the other guy's knocked. We'll have to see. Tabs. Yes, Jamper goes down, so it's Tabs versus Paper. A 1v1 and a quick end. as the AR just destroys through the wood build. And there we go to it to get into page number 1 and then also hop back in. We had to spend so much time getting that system back up. It's still Innocence and Agers on top, and Animal and Aspect. Redemption for them possibly in week number 2. We're only going to look at top 10. 36 point for Animal and Aspect. That thing that they did onto Chap and AV, Aspect clutching a little bit and getting more placements. I think possibly one of the most consistent placement teams in the entire tournament so far.
This is so close to the top. This is what you want to see. Look at that, 6 points separating the top 6. This is crazy. And seeing a lot of old Vanguards in there, Season Bissell being crazy consistent. I'm actually looking for them to kind of come back with this. And then, yeah, Kalkin clicks 29 points. Arab and Coop jumping up there again. There's going to be real tight at the top to finish this one off. And Colazo coming out of nowhere on the 24 points.